What's going on, everybody? So in this video we're going to be fixing up the Explorer. We're going to throw in the EGR and then we're going to clear the code, and that should fix our issue. So I got a new EGR. It's a Motorcraft part, genuine Ford stuff, so it should work good. You can see here we have the old EGR. It's like all rusty and nasty looking, and here's the new one. Comes with the new gasket, comes with new bolts and everything, which is good because the bolts on the old one were kind of rusted. So yeah, new hose. So this should fix the problem. I can't see, I mean, that's the whole EGR system right there. If the input from the exhaust is not clogged and the vent into the intake isn't clogged, then you know it's got to be this. So we're gonna go ahead and swap it out, and then we'll fire it up, clear the code, and hopefully it doesn't come back on. I don't think it will. So I did get new EGR put on. And if you look here, there's that one bolt going through. There's one on the other side. Sort of hard to get to, but I was able to get on it, torque them down really good, and I got that nice big nut tightened there for the inlet for the exhaust. And I plugged in the sensor right there, and then the red and black little hoses that look like they're actually vacuum hoses in the back there. And now all we got to do is put the throttle body on. I found the best way to actually do the EGR is, you know, it comes with a new gasket and the bolts are through the gasket like you saw in the last clip. But if you just thread the bolts through just a little bit so the tips are sticking out, and then you have it tilted back, slide this pipe inside of the EGR and then pivot it forward like this, and then these bolts will line up if you push down, and then you can get them both started. But if your EGR gasket falls down in the bottom, you may not even see it, and you might tighten it down and mess up your gasket. So just make sure that your gasket doesn't fall down. Mine did, and that could happen to you too. So just pay attention to that. And yeah, it's relatively simple. It's kind of tough to work on this thing. I'm like kneeling on this bar right here, which you know, isn't very good for my knees, but my hamstrings are cramping up. This is a painful spot for this EGR. So I threw on the little intake pipe here, plugged in the mass airflow, and I plugged in the TPS on the throttle position sensor right there, locked those locking clips in, tightened the hose clamps, and threw on this PCV. I think that's what that is. Yeah, it's a PCV valve. So yeah, that's everything. Should be all set. I'm going to go inside the car and clear the code, and then we'll fire it up, maybe take it for a spin, see if the code comes back. Don't think it will, because we are fully you know, repaired here. We got a brand new EGR system, so should be all set. So it's the following day. I did take the Explorer for a drive last night, and the check light didn't come back on. It may take a little while for it to actually run the EGR test. I'm not sure what the requirements are. It could be a certain amount of highway driving, or you know, steady throttle, or whatever. You know, there's a number of things it could be. But yeah, so we're just gonna have to wait and see, but I don't think the check light's gonna come back on. I think we fixed it up pretty good. So that thing's all done. In other news, I've been messing around with the spark plugs in the Honda. I pulled them out and I was looking at them, and they don't look nearly as oil fouled as they did before. I'll show you guys. Unfortunately, all the new seals that I put in, I think are leaking because they all have oil above in this area. I wiped some of them off. But if you look at the ends of these plugs, they're not that bad. I mean, yeah, I do have a little bit of white. This is the one out of cylinder number 2, I believe. This is the one that was burning the most oil, but it's not nearly as bad as it was. I don't know if you remember before, it was like black and nasty. Maybe that's because I haven't been beating on the car as much. So I haven't been actually getting into the high RPMs and burning the massive amounts of oil that I was. But yeah, so I'm not really sure. What I plan to do today is just change the oil, because the oil does look kind of dirty in this thing. So I'm thinking if I change the oil up, I can, you know, that can only help. But yeah, I'm going to do that and probably drive it for a little while, maybe another week or so before I tear it down. Yeah, we'll see, but I'm going to try to make a quick video of me driving around tuning. I think I'm going to try to lean it out on the top end. It's kind of rich for a stock, you know, naturally aspirated motor. It's pretty rich. So I'm going to lean it out just a little bit and see if we can, you know, get it to smoke a little less. I don't know. I'll set up some cameras and you guys can watch me tune a little bit. Yeah, so look forward to that in the next video, but this is going to cap it off. The Explorer is fixed. So thanks for watching this video, guys, and stay tuned for the next video. It should be a little bit of a tuning video. We'll see how it goes. I'll see if I can maybe teach you guys some things. I'm still learning how to tune myself. It's a pretty difficult process, but we'll see. Thanks for watching, everybody.